Hey viewers, so I just finished recording a last minute podcast with James, and I just opened my editing software and I realized I had James muted all the whole time. So if you want to ever listen to a one person podcast who's talking to a ghost in the room, you can experience that here. So cool. But by the time this goes up, in 3 hours, the Ikoria spoilers will begin, so check those out instead. Sweet. Okay. Hey James, it's been a while since we've done one of these. My end of the world, it's all right. It's quiet. It's chill. It's all indoors. What about you? How are you doing? Yeah. Would you say your life is pretty much the same? Yeah. Oh, well that's good at least. Regularity's good. Beyond that though, the rest of the world is kind of in a crazy space, including the world of magic. Yep. We just had like four more Magic Fests canceled today as well. So, uh, yeah, yeah. And you did one of those last week. Yeah, yeah. You were playing Rakdos Sacrifice. Oh no, that's right. Team of Clover. You were getting beaten up and beating up Rakdos Sacrifice, which is hmm yeah. I mean, considering it's a pretty tough matchup for that deck. Okay. I did see like the popularities of the decks, and Team of Clover didn't seem very popular, but that just might be because it's I don't know hard to play. As people call it. Yeah, yeah. People think it's high skill. Mono red's just easy to just slam, but who knows? So well, tomorrow we've left this to the last minute. Tomorrow, spoilers for Ikoria begins at like 1 p.m. I don't know, sometime. There's a live stream. It's gonna be we're gonna start spoilers. We're gonna see the trailer. Have you seen the ticket stubs people have been getting? So like streamers and popular content creators have been getting like these little fancy Ikoria ticket stubs, which is interesting. I don't know if that's like a thematic choice or if it's like really basic, like hey, come check out the trailer, or if it's like I don't know, this trailer is going to be particularly cinematic. Maybe it's going to tie in with a Netflix series, or I don't know. They've been sending people like popcorn boxes full of snacks as well. So I don't know. It might be a very cinematic experience. We'll see. That's an interesting one because we saw that leak with the Godzilla promos. If it's not a leak, that's a lot of effort someone went into. They've even made the wrapping. They made the promos, which has the license name and then the real name beneath it and the mechanics. I don't know. It's a lot of work. So if that's a leak, super impressed. That doesn't have to. Oh, for me personally, if it's not in English, it seems like it's more likely to be an actual leak because they feel like they can get away from American legality because they're just in a corner of the world. But I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah. Right. Okay. We will find out literally in 24 hours. So, why still make this video? We're going to be talking about some of the sweet teases, I guess, done by Maro. Yeah, sorry, it's on my screen. sorry, sorry, I got the show notes over there. I'll right here, up there. No, so there's been some leaks. So we're gonna make some teases. So we're gonna try to make some predictions about these, and we're gonna see how many we get right at the end of the spoiler season, which is gonna be really short, by the way. This is only a 1.5 week or like 2 week. I don't know why it is. I feel like they could have done earlier. Done the 3 weeks. Yeah, yeah. It's a lot of cards. So I'll run through the teasers from Marrow, and then we'll go back and talk about some of the more interesting ones. So Magic's gonna get its seventh egg. A card with the text 4 or more times this game. A card with the text total power 10 or less. 10 or less. Magic's largest power and toughness granting aura. A card with the text X is the number of times this creature has mutated. Magic's third and fourth card with 0 is even reminder text. 3 cards with the text different names. 12 different types of counters. A card that says choose a kind of counter at random. Jeez. A card with the text remove 8 foreshadow counters. And a cycle that players have been asking us to make for 10 years. And it's got some spicy creature types like Dinosaur Turtle, Shark Beast, Demon Kraken, Elemental Otter, Bushwag, Hellion Horror, and a Nightmare Squirrel. So, those are just from Marrow, and those are for the cards in the standard set. So, let's talk about the ones that are interesting. For the first one is a card with the text total power 10 or less. What does that make you think? Yeah. Mm-hmm. They do like to print those cards. What's the card that EDH plays? The big green creature that finishes games. Yeah, Craterhoof. Yeah, they've been printing like spell versions of that here and there, trying to more accessible for EDH. Yeah, I was thinking of what you just said. Maybe it's like a 3 mana white board wipe, but you can only cast it if the total power on the board is 10 or less. So if you're losing, you can't cast it anymore, but it's still a board wipe if the total power on the board is 10 or less. Reading the card, it made me think of Mossword Bridge, that hideaway card. That if you can only do it if you have a total power of 10 or greater. But this is like the entire opposite of that. So yeah, yeah. So it's vague, but okay. Do you think it's on a sorcery, like instance or sorcery? Hmm. I like. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. It is definitely an easy thing to do, an easy thing to accomplish to have less than 10 power. So maybe it is like maybe it's for your opponent, maybe it's the whole board. Interesting. Okay, so moving to the next one, a card with the text X is the number of times this creature has mutated. So this pretty much quietly confirms that mutate is a keyword in Ikoria, which we kind of figured out because of that unset with the squirrel legendary that has the keyword mutate. So it's not even subtle at this point. Yeah, it was printed in the unsanctioned that box set. It was every time you play an aura, mutate, or that little fusion mechanic from the other end set, you get to draw a card. So they just threw mutate in there. It's never been printed before, and it's pretty much just because Ikoria is gonna have mutate. Exactly. Yeah. Except for this one's a lot less subtle. Mm-hmm. And I mean, my guess would be, well, it's kind of based off the spoiler, well, the leak, but it seems like mutate is like an alternate cost from a card in your hand that gives a creature something. So like it gives them like a trample counter or something. Yup. Oh man, it could be. What if it's like Oh, can you do like an X10 where X is the number of times this creature is mutated? So it's like a 3 mana X10 Simic creature. So it's like a 0/10, but then you start mutating on it and it gets to a 1/10, a 2/10, and a 3/10. Maybe. A 3 mana 0/10 hexproof creature in Simic. Oh, crazier things have happened. maybe an X. Oh yeah, that's right. So it can't be power and toughness. Maybe when it dies. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. It's man, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, that makes sense. Although it's gonna be interesting to see if yeah. I think we might. It says a card with the text, but it feels like that's pretty versatile. Like you could slap that on a bunch of different death effects. Yeah, or attack effects or whatever. So yeah. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Magic's third and fourth card with zero is even. So that's a reference to Void Winnower. And another is it? It says third or fourth. What's the other card in Magic's history that's mentioned? Do you know it off the top of your head? I tried looking it up. Can you type it in to your little fancy app? Yeah. Okay. Huh. What? Oh, it has haste and into the. Oh no. Interesting. Has haste and into the battlefield tapped. What the? Do you know if it's black border? Okay. Well, that's interesting. Oh, lower one. Okay. So yeah, it's interesting that it's not just the third, but it's the third and fourth of the CMC carrying effect. So it's quite interesting. Yeah. Ooh. Do you think it's like something pushed, like that Boros creature that has protection from everything except for that one CMC? Maybe this has like protection from everything unless it has even counters. Yeah. Oh man. They might print something like has protection from even CMCs. I don't know, but it seems wacky. Do you think this is part of their like push of design of cards of like that digital realm, so they can now? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh, I like that. It's like a modal CMC. I don't even know how to describe it. That's cool. That's definitely potential. Yeah, I can imagine that on like a legendary creature or something. That sounds like a fun command to build around or something. Hmm. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Yeah. Who knows? Well, moving along to the next one. Three cards with the text different names. So I think we've seen that before on like the Liliana enchantment that if you have four demons of different names, you win the game. And this is three cards with that text. So I just they're really pushing it. All these exciting Timmy style cards, which feels weird because I feel like they're not really hyping this setup for that at all. Like I feel like if this is what they're doing, they would like really push that. But instead, it's like, yeah, Ikoria's it's a set about monsters, and they haven't hyped any of that up really besides this sort of like leaks, you know. Whereas I feel like War of the Sparks, it's the Planeswalker set, or like so exactly. So I don't know. Maybe the hype's just weird. I feel like it is. I'm feeling like it is. I feel like that's why they like took out the budget from Theros, which had a really underwhelming trailer, and they just shoved it all in this one. Because did you see the cover for the book, the story? It's got some dude with this cool gem with reflecting a lion. Like that seems cool. Story based content. Like, yep, I heard that as well. And he's respectably okay. I heard. So Yeah, well, it's Magic Story. Doesn't it come out on like the 7th of April or something? I thought it was like, I think we get the story before even we get the card release, but I guess it's happening kind of at the same time. So we'll see what it is, and we'll see this trailer tomorrow. So we'll kind of see the story anyways. It's I don't know. Magic Story is weird now because like we were used to like, oh, it's Bolas, oh, we're fighting Bolas, oh, we're fighting Bolas, but now we're seeing these kind of like, what is this? We've got the key planeswalker, we've got giant monsters, we have who's the villain, So yeah, but I guess yeah, it's apparently the guy who wants the gem. Okay, so moving along, we've got a couple things about counters. So we've got 12 different types of counters. A card that says choose a kind of counter at random, and a card with the text remove 8 foreshadow counters. So it's a set about a lot of counters. Yeah, I imagine if they put +1 and -1. I mean, whoa, crazy. Yeah, exactly. Maybe they'll just go crazy. Uh, Imagine if they go crazy and add +1, -1 counters just to destroy everything, just to ruin Magic. Oh, oh God, yeah. Which is which is why they're giving you the punch out counters for the in the pre-release kits. Yeah, but still, yeah. So I mean, oh man, it would just be awful. But like we've got 8 foreshadow counters, which reminds me of what's that exile mechanic where you put in no, not miracle, the one you put in exile and you remove a counter on your upkeep. Yeah, so it sounds like suspend counters to me, foreshadow counters. I don't know what. Yeah, so that seems like it seems like that mechanic, but they just didn't use it again. But I don't know. It'd be a weird choice, but maybe it's a foreshadow counter, and every time you play a creature, it remove a counter or something. Maybe it works slightly mechanically different. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Erixmathes. Yeah, yeah. So who knows? It probably has some sort of mechanic to it. Yeah, yeah. Now this card is weird. Choose a kind of counter at random. I don't know if that's a removal spell. I don't know. Okay, so it makes first. My first thought was that maybe it's like proliferate, right? You choose a counter at random and you add another counter of that kind. But if you're adding like trample counters and double strike and flying counters and stuff, you don't want another flying counter. That doesn't. Or maybe when it goes to combat, you choose a kind of random counter another creature has, and then it takes. I don't know. It's yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So you I would have assumed that it's about all the counters on the board state currently, but so it's kind of like those cards. It's like on like the attack phase, you can pick one of like flying double strike thing and you add it to the creature. Like that exists. So if this is maybe it does have a paragraph of reminder text of all the counters that it has. I don't know. Well, that's gonna be interesting. Oh man. Okay. And so the last card in Mara's little tease is a cycle that players have been asking us to make for over 10 years. It feels like with that description, it should be super obvious, but I've been asking people and people who've been playing for much older than me, and they couldn't really pin it down either. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. My first thought was like a full color commander, like a legendary cycle, but they have done that in the commander sets. So, and they have partners as well. So I don't know what this could be. I have a feeling it's lands. It's gotta do something with lands, maybe. Commander, yeah, commander, yeah. EDH is old, I think. So Because we have like Brea and like the proliferate commander and stuff. We do have a cycle of 4 color legendaries, but not in a standard set. I don't know if it has to be that specific, but yeah. So I don't know. Nobody's cracked that one yet. I feel like it's super obvious with its description, but no one's actually figured that one out yet. So we'll see what it is. I have a feeling it's got to do something with lands though. Pick a type. Enchantments, creatures, planeswalkers, spells, enchantment lands. No, they would have done that in Theros. They've missed their chance. That's gone, and that's already in like the playtest cards. So if they didn't do it in Theros, I got no idea. 2006, so 14 years ago. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, that's true. That could be interesting. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Sounds weird. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be weird. Okay, well, so those are all the teases from Marrow. We will see how many of those we even remotely get correct. There's a bunch of stuff from Gavin, and I'm just gonna insert a hypercut of what he's teased right here. Great, now we're back to the after the power of editing. I think the most interesting thing over here again is a cycle of cards reimagining of an old multiplayer cycle. Again, that seems obvious. How many multiplayer cycles of cards are there? But I gave it a quick Google, and there is the offering cycles where you and another player get to do a thing together. Those cards barely see play, like intellectual offering. You, an opponent, both draw 3 cards. Oh no, yeah, choose an opponent, then choose an opponent, untap all non-land permanents you and that player controls. Like, that is a multiplayer cycle. It's a whole. I actually never knew it was a cycle because these cards are never played anywhere. Um, and it says old multiplayer cycle, so it can't be the lands from Battle Bond. Those aren't old enough. I would not call that old, right? First Conspiracy, I would consider that modern Magic. I feel like old has to be like an old border, maybe a land. There's like that land cycle around. You tap it, and each opponent gains 1 life. Has that cycle been finished? But it says reimagining of an old multiplayer cycle, so I don't know how you reimagine those lands. So, yeah, I don't know. It will be interesting to see those. And like, oh man, these creature types are so crazy. Goat, Hydra, Cat, Nightmare, Badger, Dinosaur, Whale, Wolf, and Dinosaur Cat token. The Whale Wolf. I want to see the art for that. I'm the Whale Wolf. It's interesting though that they have confirmed, and people seem to have not seen this, but they did confirm that the that morph evolve mechanic from the unset that we just recently had is not the mechanic. It's not what they're going to be doing, but these creature types sounds exactly like what you get. When you add a human with like a merfolk, you get the mermaid thing. It's not that mechanic, but these creature types sounds like the result of that mechanic. So maybe it's just the creatures that have formed from that, which it sounds very Simic to me, but it also sounds like this is going to be a mechanic that spreads, or these creatures are going to show up in all these sets. So no, I think he confirmed no double face either. So I'm really curious at how the world works, how the plane works for these creatures to exist. Maybe it's got to do something with a gem. The gem can transmute and transform things into wacky little combinations. I don't know. It sounds very Simic. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It sounds totally wild, and I think I can imagine like the playmats and the art. I feel like it's gonna have a set full of incredible, amazing art. I'm so sad we didn't get a spoiler card. I know. I don't expect one. We're such a small channel, but it would have been so cool to get an early access look. Yeah. Okay, so those are all the leaks so far. Well, the little teasers. It's gonna be cool. Stream starts tomorrow. 1 week of spoilers. Tune into all that. So it'll be really exciting. Before we wrap up, let's talk about two little things. We already mentioned the Channel Fireball weekly tournament. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that before we moved on? Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So why do you think they're not suppressing it now? Right. It is open deck list. Right. So is this data being crunched manually or? Wow. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Which is a good thing. Open data, no matter what. I don't know. Yeah, other people have different opinions, but open data is a good thing. It. Yeah. Have you been following the meta evolving over the last week and a half? Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. And I mean, it's something to say about standard that the after this gauntlet of high level magic, that we haven't had the format solved. Really, I haven't seen complaints that this one deck is unbeatable. We seem to be in a healthy standard format where there's a lot of choices that can actually win these things. Yeah. Mm. But it is I personally don't feel very positive about this rock paper scissors format where you follow the meta. You know what decks was popular yesterday, so you pick the scissors or the rock or the paper that beats it. Is that is that fun when your win rates against other decks can be 70% positive or 70% negative? Is that the kind of magic that's healthy? Yeah. So kind of like that Sultai mid range deck that I saw that it's just good. It's resilient. Yeah. Full of solid answers, full of solid cards. It seems like it's the catch all answer. Also a weird rogue deck that I feel like people don't really know how to play against. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. I think we just had a ladder reset, did we? Yeah. Oh, it's April, so yeah, I think it is actually. So, oh, that's cool. Okay, so moving on to I think the last topic, I want to talk about the Ikoria release. So obviously we're having spoiler season, but the cards are coming out only physically in Asia and the rest of the world, Asia and online, and the rest of the world is going to have to wait to middle of May, which I feel like it's going to have a really weird impact on the sales of that because when you have Asia and mostly online solving the formats, including Midgo, Bawden's going to get solved with all these Ikoria cards, Standard's going to get solved. It's going to do a weird thing to card prices, and you're going to know which are the good cards and which are the duds. So I don't even know how to buy Ikoria products. Mm. I mean, but we'll have the evidence though. After a month of playing online, people will figure out what cards from Ikoria are like total, good cards for standard. We'll see the Okos and Oros rise to the top. Hopefully not. But it makes it weird for me because I don't think I should buy a booster box, and there's gonna be no pre-release events. I think pre-releases are completely canceled. Maybe it's not. Yeah, exactly. Like even yeah, and like so I don't. If I'm wanting to just sit here and buy singles, I'm sure I'm not the only one. So who is going to open the products for the market to buy up? So I'm really worried that Ikoria is going to be a really fun set for Commander, for all these formats, but the card prices are just going to be so expensive. And we're going to have like an Ixalan situation where no one buy the product, and a year later it was really good, and the card prices were really expensive. So I'm a bit worried and sad about that. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, that's solidarity. Yeah, or you've lost your job and you don't have any money at all to spend on product as well. Like yeah, it's yeah. I don't know. I really can't predict what MTG Finance will look like in a month. I mean, it's interesting to see that Cardboard Magic hasn't crashed as some people expected. Like people thought no one's going to be buying, the demand's going to go down. But I follow the MTG weekly high and low stock the updates on that one, and I read at the bottom of that latest article saying that the crash hasn't happened, but there's less fluctuations. Like cards are not changing price. There's no spikes. Things aren't developing. So, but we're only seeing the start of it, though. We still have many months left of this, and I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how things pan out. How about you? Well, how do you plan on getting your hands on Ikoria cards? Mm-hmm. There are those commander decks as well. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a bit annoying because I feel like this is only one small hitch, but I do agree that this will result in a crawl for us in terms of paper magic. I feel because like it's gonna be a delay in Ikoria getting out, and I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be hard for us to build our paper decks to play the decks we want with Ikoria. And, mm, at this rate, it's looking pretty rough. Yeah, like they say it's gonna come out May 10th, but looking right now at how the states is dealing with this virus situation, they're not handling it very well. They're still on their way up to the peak, really. And we're in a 4 week lockdown, so 4 weeks from now is the start of May. So we might even see Ikoria not even come out in America at this rate. Maybe we'll be fine. Maybe Australia will be fine. Maybe we'll get the cards. But if America doesn't get it, you know, imagine if that happens and like SCG can't even figure out its pricing, or like TCG player and stuff like that. How are we gonna price our cards? It's like the Dark Ages. Like, oh, I'll give you these two rares for your rare. Is that okay? It's like playing Pokemon as kids. I think that would be cool as well, kind of, but yeah, yeah. Oh man. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna consume Ikoria. I just hope somehow we can get our hands on it at a fair price. I think I'm personally feeling like two booster boxes. Part of me is thinking the supply is gonna be so low that if I just buy two boxes and I just hoard these rares, that they're just gonna climb in price some way. Yeah, maybe even keeping it sealed because I think Ixalan. That's what I thought, but yeah, because I thought it was interesting that I thought they could just send them out at least. Like I don't know why they're not releasing it via mail. But maybe because if you do that, maybe the pre-release events are still loaded up and ready to go. Maybe that's why they're not doing it. Because if everyone gets their booster products, they're not gonna come and do the pre-releases. So I don't know. Maybe in like a year we're gonna hear about these giant warehouses that have so many Ikoria pre-release kits that no one just fucking purchased. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. So even Ikoria is actually Ikoria is even getting a collector booster box as well. I don't know who's gonna be buying those. I don't know what those gonna be look like as well. So I don't know. It's gonna be a weird time. Who knows how Paper Magic's gonna pan out. But we're gonna keep seeing a boon for all these online tournaments. We can all become esports pros in arena at home. Yeah, yeah. I mean they're doing 24-hour coverage for these Magic Fest things. That's crazy. It's absolutely insane, but it's awesome. It's good. It's good to be part of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unless you go 0-3 with your Simic Flash deck and you're like, why? Why did I do Simic Flash? Why? I thought this deck will be good. There is a lot of mono red out there. Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. These mono red decks are weird. They're like all creatures and like two spells. I don't know. It's a weird pile of cards. All right. Well, thank you very much, James, for your time during this busy time. No worries. Um, and yeah, well, let's check out these spoilers and let's get excited. Yeah, that's. I feel like I feel like I really need this right now. I need this stimulus for all these cards. So it'll be good. All right. Well, thank you very much, James, and enjoy the rest of your day.